I learned about Urban College of Boston through a mentor of mine, Sue Mintz from the city of Cambridge. I was working a lot of part-time jobs and trying to apply for full-time positions when I was really inquiring, like, why am I not getting any full-time jobs? And Sue said to me, well, unfortunately, Ayesha, it's because you just have a high school diploma. But the good news is that there's an opportunity with a school downtown called Urban College of Boston. It's a 2-year school, and the city of Cambridge will actually help and pay for a class or two, given that they had packages that was about maybe $600 for part-time employees of the city of Cambridge. When I saw the brochure and I saw Miss Nancy Daniels on the front, I remembered her. And I remembered her from my junior high days at the Kennedy School, where she was an educator there in special education. She wasn't my teacher, however, she was a teacher in the building. She was a friendly face, and she was this friendly face that reminded me of her love and joy for young people. And she was on the cover of this brochure. So I was like, yeah, that's where I want to be. So I instantly applied, instantly got the funding and the financial support through the city of Cambridge. Because it came a little bit over the cost of one class, I decided to take 2 classes. So I decided that I would apply. And the city of Cambridge, they offered $600 as a part-time employee. That covered the cost of a class and a half. So I paid the difference of 2 classes and of the second class. And I enrolled in the early childhood development course and public speaking. So those were my first 2 classes at Urban College. I enjoyed it. I loved it so much. My first day of school was after Labor Day in September of 2007. My class was awesome. It was folks ranging from age, ranging in diversity, skill set, language, all sorts of things. And I was just like, oh my God, this is remarkable. So I loved it so much that I didn't just take those 2 classes and run. I actually enrolled and became an actual full-time student and went into a degree program. I realized that looking at the early childhood track and then looking at the human services track, that I kind of liked or resonated a little bit more with the human service track. And so I decided to change my major, if you would, and go human service. And so the second semester, I enrolled in 3 courses. I took 2 courses over the course of the summer, did a full-time schedule of 4 classes the next semester, and then so on and so forth to when I graduated in June of 2010. And I swear to you, if I had to rewind time, I would do it exactly the same way. I'm so grateful to this college, so grateful for all the skills that it instills in me, the friendships, the teacher friendships, those connections that I still have to this day. I said this before, but as a non-traditional college student, to come back to school 7 years after graduating high school, this was the place that I needed to be in, a place where I felt seen, a place where I definitely belonged, and a place that was inclusive to all levels of learning styles, learning developments, and truly just provided me comfort and the joy that I needed to be a student. Urban College provided me with an opportunity to make this work. I think, again, as a non-traditional student, it was one of those things where I tried one of the bigger community colleges, and unfortunately, it was just too big for me. And I was really unsuccessful there. And this space provided me with an age range that was beautiful. I wasn't the oldest in the class or the youngest in the class. I was right in the middle. I would say, for lack of a better word, was about that life, meaning they were here for education. They were here to get a degree, to get a certificate, to elevate themselves in some way, shape, or form. And I needed to be amongst those people. They were all my motivators. Every classmate that I came across through every class was a motivator, was someone who I grew and drew inspiration from, because everyone had a powerful message and a reason for why they were at Urban College of Boston. So from Urban College of Boston, I went off to Wheelock College. But that story was a really interesting one. Life after Urban College of Boston. In a conversation with my advisor, Miss Nancy Daniels, she talked to me about social work. And I was like, social work? Ma'am, no thank you, ma'am. Because I grew up as a kid in the projects in Cambridge, and I saw social workers not in the most positive light. And so for me, that just was never going to be a field that I would be interested in. And Miss Daniels basically opened my eyes to the world of social work. She was like, oh, you silly girl, there's so much more to that life. And then following up with one of my classmates, Miss Ajele, who is one of y'all's board members, she told me that she applied to Wheelock and got in. And I was like, you did? Oh, okay. I should apply too. And I did, and I remember saying to Miss Daniels, hey, can you write my reference? And it's due in like 2 or 3 days. Of course, this is like right before graduation, and Miss Daniels, without a doubt, was like, I got you. I will do that. She did. Application went in on time, and I got accepted to Wheelock. My world in Wheelock was a whole different world from Urban College. Why? Because I was now really the oldest in the classroom. Many of my peers or my classmates were about 10 years younger than me. You know, they were mostly living on campus. I was a commuter student. They got to live like really a lot of that college life. But again, what brought me back was learning more about the life of social work, what it means to be an activist, what does it mean to stand up and support those who need advocacy, all of that. And even just advocacy. So just to touch on that for a second, when I first got enrolled into Wheelock College, they enrolled me as a sophomore. I remember looking at the syllabi for the classes for Wheelock and thinking to myself, well, a lot of those classes I took at Urban College. So I came in and sat down with my advisor at Wheelock with my portfolio from Urban College, because that's what they prepare us to do, is have all of our syllabi, projects and everything in a nice little pretty binder. And I went into that advisor's office and I left that meeting starting with 44 credits and ended with 68 credits. I now walked out of that meeting being a junior at Wheelock College versus being a sophomore. I shaved $34,000 from tuition off of me, which was everything, especially in that moment as being an adult and needing to get these degrees so I can better my life and better my future. So from that meeting and leaving there as a junior and kind of giving myself my high fives, right? Because this was advocacy at its finest. And I said to myself, well, if I can advocate for myself, I surely can advocate for others. And so the world of social work has meant the world to me, and I've been able to do so much with it. And now as an elected official, as a city councilor, the level of advocacy that I'm providing to the city of Cambridge, it's mind-blowing to be able to be in service and be a servant to those in my community, the community that I was raised in, and giving back in a way that I never thought I would. But being able to be a policymaker and being able to find injustices across our systems and advocate for how we can have a better and more just system is all, I devote all of those lessons and those learnings right here to Urban College of Boston for just giving me the tips, the tools, and the confidence to be able to go out there and be a change maker. So to that individual who is interested in pursuing a career in early childhood, human services, general studies, Urban College of Boston is the place for you, because it can just open up your eyes to a world of so much more. Just as it opened up my eyes to a world of so much more, it could definitely just put you on the pursuit to just better life, you know, and just as a stepping stone for work opportunities. But, you know, I think for me, this was a beautiful foundation to education and to learning that I'm just forever embedded, like just grateful to, because it was one of those things where I knew that this was the place once I walked into the doors. The friendly people, the tutors who are just so kind. Everyone is so available and accessible. Financial aid office, right? Like folks are just cool, kind, calm, and collected. And they are definitely here to see you succeed. They want that for each and every one of their students. And I felt that. And I felt that personally. But then when I talked to my peers and I'm like, oh, you had that experience too? They hooked you up. It was like, no, this was how they are for each and every person. So if you are out there questioning what your next path, journey, or whatever is, please consider Urban College of Boston, because it did right by me and many of my classmates, and I know it will do right by you. Thank you so much, Urban College of Boston, for being the foundation for what I needed to be successful, to be a former school committee member for 4 years, a city councilor running for re-election, to being an advocate for my community, just for everything that you all instilled in me, the relationships that I were able to form from these walls. Thank you so much for being that space that allowed me to be seen, belong, and definitely heard. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Urban College of Boston.